live. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. We are about to go through the framework for day one for Limitless Agency. I'm going to share with you a presentation that we use where we're able to identify 8 different principles that you're going to see on this post if you're watching this video right now. And the thing about it is, usually when you go into a company or go into somebody's business, they don't have most of these dialed in. And was lucky to learn from a couple of great people where I'll be able to take in what they've had at a framework and adapt it, use it, mold it, and now be able to share it with you guys in Limitless Agency to be able to identify the missing pieces of where the core principles of your business is. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Clint Riggin. I built a $500,000 fitness coaching business in about 12 months called Limitless Coaching. And then from there, I learned a lot, lost a lot, and now I run a ministry, and now I help business owners, 6 and 7 figure business owners, operate at peak performance so that they can serve and make the impact that they need to make in the world that we live in today. So let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to take you guys through this, and we're gonna be able to go through this together. So if you can see my screen, this is for our 2-day fly-in that we do. It's an intensive 2 days, 8 hours each day over the course of 16 hours. And the biggest thing that we start with is understanding and identifying the core values of the business. Because if we don't know what your business and why you created your business and the core values that you have to articulate the fundamental principles that drive the business that you have created, then there is a massive problem, because that's going to affect the clients that you bring in. That's going to affect the core values that you hold with your employees and your retention. And when you look at this, you need to align it with your vision. This is the first thing I identify within my coaching business was the core values that we're going to follow. And the first thing that we go through in any type of consultation that we bring a client through is their core values. And next is your mission and your vision statement. So with your mission and your vision statement, you really want to know, what is the mission of your business? We go into why. Like, what is the reason that you have created the business that you've created? What's the reason that you've stepped into this entrepreneur journey that you may have been on for a very long time, but you don't have a mission statement or you don't have a vision statement? Because that is going to show the company's purpose, and that's also going to help you with your long-term goals. The next thing is developing SOPs. When you do not have standardized operating procedures in your business, and from there you bring on new employees and you expect them to know what to do, or you're just in a rat race and you're continuing to make the same SOPs over and over, but you haven't created a system, then there is a problem. You see, when it comes to learning SOPs, I learned from Dan Martell, the best thing you could ever do is to have your employee or your contractor, whatever it might be, create the SOP, and you will make videos just like this, doing the work so that they can make the SOP, so they can understand it, and then you verify the SOP afterwards. Absolutely beautiful way that he teaches, and that I brought over into Limitless Agency, because he is doing something right. Then HR processes, ethical and empowering hiring and firing processes. Depending on if you are hiring right now, if you're not, or if you're in a place where you need to fire more people because you have too many people that are currently in your company. And that's very easy to do if you just look up your employee structure or your org chart. If you have an org chart, a lot of companies, they don't have an organizational chart, and we can't see where they are currently and where they want their organizational chart to be. So you don't have the factor of even seeing where your business is. Then we move forward, go into culture of leadership. See, empowerment is the key. It's not being of power, it's being able to empower. You want to learn the strategies, create an environment where employees feel empowered to take initiative and grow into leadership roles. One of our clients right now, we speak every week on, are the employees speaking about the core values? Do they know the mission statement? Do they know the vision statement? Do they know why they come to work every day? Do they understand what is the reason that they are there and what do they want the client experience to be like? Because if you can nail that down and you can have somebody come in and they have an amazing time, your onboarding is set up, your client retention is where it needs to be. This goes for coaching, consulting. This goes for if you just have a brick and mortar play, whatever it might be. This goes for any business. Your leadership is the ultimate principle of if people are going to stay with you or not. If you are empowering other people or if you're of power. Open communication is key. You need to have channels and transparent dialogue between all levels of organization. That way, where I come from in the military background, we had something called the chain of command. And the chain of command was simple. I didn't talk to my CO. I talked to my LPO, which talked to my chief, which then talked to the XO, which talked to the master chief petty officer. And we went up from there. There's certain things that don't need to be handled at your position. So one of our clients, we went in there and we were able to see like, why is everybody going to you for this? We need to have a manager position so you can focus on the higher level activities. Continuous learning. How are you helping your employees to be able to continuous learn? What are you doing to foster that type of learning environment? You see, somebody doesn't want to just go into a business and stay where they currently are. They want to learn, they want to improve, but to do that, you have to give them responsibility and you have to hold them to a higher standard. Recognition and feedback. Praise in public, criticize in private. This is something that was very hard for me in my first business because I just wanted to help the person, but I realized that if I was criticizing them in front of other people, it was making them look bad. Ultimately, they wouldn't do a very good job. So I would praise in public and always think about what are the things that you are praising them for? What are you congratulating them on? What does that look like? Social media presence. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you are not making social media, if you are not making content, I don't care what type of business it is, if you are not getting in front of the camera and you're speaking to your audience with the right messaging and the right content, then you are doing yourself a disservice. The best thing you can ever do if you're at a point is to hire a media team. Hire a videographer, an editor, and a content strategist to be able to know what those next steps are. In Limitless Agency, we have contractors out that we're ready to go. When the client says, hey, let's make it happen, boom. Next day, they're on the phone. Now, when it comes to social media audit, this is where we can thoroughly go through your social media and see what are you posting? How are you using your hashtags? How are you using the strategy right now if you do have a strategy? And what are your engagement tactics? Engagement tactics are key because if you don't know, if you comment on somebody's post or if you like somebody's post, it automatically goes into the algorithm. The algorithm then shows that other person. The reason that people comment on posts at the first time it posts and they have post notifications on is because you are able to then scoot into the algorithm at the top. People don't just comment because they're like, oh, I should comment on this post. No, because it cues the algorithm over top of everything. So for me, we have a team that goes in, they engage on all of my posts, and then I'll comment on some of them. But at this point in time, to be able to service our clients the best, social media is the last thing that I worry about. Everything is systematized, automations are fully taken care of. And this is what we really want to get into, is understanding that. Becoming camera competent. See, now this is something that's going to take time. You have to understand your audience, tailor the camera presence to connect authentically. This is not the best way to connect, but this is the best way I can show you exactly what this is. The scripting for impact, body language mastery, and then technical skills. Now, streamlining your business operations, automation tools. If you're not using AI, then you are far behind. There is so much that you can use right now. All the posts that you see me post are all done. Everything is scheduled. Everything is automated because we don't have time to be sitting on here making Facebook posts and Instagram posts and LinkedIn posts when we have clients to serve, people to impact, and value to be given. Team communication. You need to have effective team communication. I don't know if you guys are using Slack. I don't know if you guys use text messaging or whatever that might be, but really understanding how you communicate. Client relationship manager, if you don't have one of those right now, I would highly encourage you to get one. Performance tracking. Do you track your KPIs? Do you know what your call percentage is, your closing, your booking rate, etc.? These are all things I had to learn in my first business. I had no idea what any of that was. I was like, well, if I just make 100 calls, I'm going to make 100 sales. Well, that's not the case. You got to know your closing percentage and know exactly how does this work with your company and your business. Crafting your marketing and your growth strategy, right? Target audience analysis. This is the big psychographics. People don't even know their fears, their wants, their needs. And if you don't know that, then you can't speak to your audience. And you're just speaking off of a story, which sometimes help and stories sell and facts tell. But if you really don't know how to craft your message, well, then you don't know how to bring them in to then optimize into a sales funnel, then into a content marketing plan that really addresses the audience's pain points. And then the performance management is to have the KPIs to do this. You need to know your key performance indicators overall. If you are not tracking KPIs, for me, I track KPIs in my health, my wealth, my life, in ministry, everything. Everything is completely tracked, but I've learned to buy back my time so that other people can do the tracking for me. And I don't have to worry about the things that don't bring me the energy, like pouring into you guys every day, so they can handle the stuff that they love to do. Charting your path to long-term success. This is the last thing you do. 90-day plan, 6-month milestone, and a 12-month vision. If you don't currently have these right now, you should sit with your team. Sit with your team, talk to them. Hey, what is our 90-day plan? What's our 6-month milestone? What's our 12-month vision? What's our 1 year? What 3 year, 5 year? If you don't have something that you're shooting for, what's never measured will never be attained. So you really have to focus on what is the overarching goal. See, in ministry, we have a goal that we're going to have 100 members. We're going to have our first Q1 event in Austin. And then we're going to have Q1, 2, 3, and 4. To get into the event, you have to be a member of Limitless Faith. You have to go through the discipleship program. You have to come, and everything will be paid for. The goal of the ministry is to pour back into the gentlemen who are in the ministry with us, to be able to teach and disciple and to help them along their way in developing a relationship with Jesus. So there's just a little bit of information that we do on our 2-day fly-in. Hopefully that helps you guys in some sort of way. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we actually will be hosting a cohort, which I didn't even know was a thing until I got on LinkedIn. But I guess we're going to be hosting a cohort at the end of this month. If you guys are interested, comment below. I will be able to have my team be able to send you over all the information. I think we're getting the landing page done right now. And then from there, we'll be able to hop on a Zoom, be able to teach you everything you need to know when it comes to actually being able to gain attention on your product or your sale, your service, or your coaching, or whatever it might be. Because one of the biggest things is just getting on camera and being able to speak to your audience, being able to have restream like this, so I can go across all different platforms and then repurpose this and change it into content and then post this on LinkedIn. Like, there's so many different ways that you're able to take this and position your content to help more people. So